everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So this is our full-on Joker review. It is going to be very, very long because this is a very divisive movie. But at the start, we're going to give our quick two thoughts. And if you're just interested in this being like a podcast style, very raw, authentic, honest, this is it. So welcome, Fireborn. It's great to have you here, man. I'm excited. Thank you so much for going to watch this with me. First off, we literally just got back from the theaters. Like we looked at each other at the end. We were like, what?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go through. We're gonna go through a few categories, and then I promise we're not gonna get into spoilers, but that is gonna be a majority of this video. So quick 2-second thoughts if somebody should watch this or not.
I think you should watch it, but not for the reason why most people are going to want to watch it.
Yeah, and that's the problem, because I have the same issue. Is like I can't recommend this to anybody unless you go in with completely different expectations altogether, and I don't even know what those expectations are, to be honest. Which is this is the divisive part. Okay, so let's go through this because I'm gonna actually go more divisive. I can't recommend the movie. I can't.
Oh, the only people I would recommend this movie to are probably people going to school for cinematography in its broadest sense. Just because it does every version of different kinds of movies at once.
Yeah, and so this is where it gets really tricky, and that's where it's going to become more of like a podcast. We're going to keep rolling through the same images, but I know if you were here, I know why you're going to watch this video, and that's what we're like. This type of video we're about to make is what I would be looking for. So first off, was the acting good? Can I answer this one first? Because you already kind of
go for it.
I think the acting was phenomenal. I think the actors, what they were given based on the material, was phenomenal. I think you couldn't have said, can you do this scene better? I think that everyone did the absolute best that they could with the script and the writing. I can't say, oh, I wish you were more into it, or that fell flat. No, I think everyone truly committed to the roles. How do you feel about it?
100%.
Yeah.
Everybody was their character. Even Lady Gaga was her character. I didn't watch it and go, that's Lady Gaga playing. You know, it was one of those things where you're like, well, this is our Harley Quinn, and this is our Joker, and this is our abusive guard. And like, it's literally like every character that you see is playing that character, and they're doing it really well.
Yeah, I can't say anything bad about it. Like you were saying about cinematography, so that's also a segment here. It is so beautifully shot. Wow.
Oh yeah,
the angles, the colors, the moments of the depth of field blending in with the character. Like that's what you were saying. I'm going to piggyback back up what you said about if you go to school for this. This was just a masterclass of that.
Yep.
It's just 100%. It was done well. Sure. I mean, I can't sit here and point and be like, wow, what was that framing or what was that? Like it was well, good job. Clap, 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 you know, but like.
And exceptional juxtaposition of like varying the scenes between like some bright moments versus some washed moments versus, you know, dark and dreary and then bright and cheery. They did a really good job of not allowing the movie to be drowned out in one feel the whole way through.
Yeah, I was color wise. I think even they showed a lot in the trailer, but really seeing how it led up was just like the lighting, the transitions. Wow.
Yep.
It was really good. And I would have to say the direction is good in terms of making sure they pulled that off, giving the actors their inspiration of how they were supposed to do the scene based on that material.
Yeah. So, and I mean, when you look at it that way too, like there wasn't a lot of moments where you felt like any one scene was drag out longer than it needed to be. Like there's lots of breathing room between like conflict, but there was also a lot of really good pacing on conversations and a lot of really good pauses for tension. They did a really good job directing it.
That's probably, I'm guaranteed people are like, then what's the problem? Like, what is going on? How do you give us so much praise for already 3 categories? And then we get into the last part. And I'll be honest, this is pretty much where I want to get into spoilers. So warning, warning, warning. You have been warned. Warning, warning, ank, ank, ank. Like you have to like click off at this point. Because this is where the problem is.
Yeah.
I wrote down in the note script, WTF.
100%.
Oh God, I don't even know where to start. This is the problem with the I have a lot of feelings, a lot of thoughts, even the car ride home. Yeah. I'm gonna let you kick it off. Hit me.
So if we don't know where to start on the script, let's start in the fact that at least out of this 2 hour and 15 minute movie, the first 2/3 of it is literally just regurgitating the first movie from somebody else's perspective or a different conversation around what was happening in the first movie. I don't feel like, other than the few moments where you deal with Harley Quinn as a character, that any new story is being added to the situation other than the rumination over what happened prior.
Yes. Like maybe if this was a standalone film and we had never even seen the first film, I wonder what our perspective would be. You know, okay, I have a thought. Let me know what you think about this.
Okay.
So the last film kind of felt like a promise at the very end. We saw him on top of the car. There he was, you know, and then we see him in the insane asylum that he is truly embodied Joker. He is the Joker. What made me feel like this was like a sitcom, you know, where we just kind of backtrack. Everyone was like, hey guys, by the way, let's just reconsider everything, how we felt about ourselves as a character arc. Let's just go back and retread everything like you were saying. The promise at the end of the last movie was that he is the Joker now. It's like, he was kind of like, you wouldn't get it. Like because he is Joker at that point. That is who he is. So that's where I have a big problem, where it's like, okay, like I remember I came up, I turned to you whenever it felt like he was finally embodying the Joker, and it was like,
probably, halfway through.
Yeah, it was like an hour and like 15 in. And I was like, this is where the movie starts, and it's just like, whoa, come on, like, what are we doing? Why did we have to go? It's like they said, okay, we have a budget, let's just retread everything and do it better shot, better acted, and better directed, but. It's almost like they're doing the memory berries of like, I remember. Do you remember back when? Yeah, but like you remember, but like it's only been like, when did the first Joker movie come out for this one? 4 years ago? 5 years ago?
Yeah.
Why are we doing member berries already? You know, like they did flashbacks of the scenes too.
So, but my problem with doing that is it feels like you don't trust your audience. Like, to understand what happened the first time. It feels like they're like, hey, you have to know that this happened. Do you remember that this thing happened? Because otherwise it's not going to make any sense.
Yeah, I felt the same way too. And because of that, it actually, instead of trying to educate us on what, it's almost like they're trying to remember the theme of the first movie. That's kind of the theme here, but it's not really the theme here, but we have to give you that theme so you understand that we're doing a new theme. Do you get it? At nudge, nudge. And it's just, I had a really big issue with that. I felt like Arthur was just being, like, he was retreading being bullied again, but he's already the Joker. And so it kind of frustrated me going through that. And so let's talk about the ending, because I had a thought that I want to spin off of you. I almost feel like, okay, this is like, what if, I'm going to throw this out here. What if this is a movie in 10 to 15 years that we look at and we say we misjudged or misunderstood, because it lets it sink in, because the first movie isn't as like in our face as it was to us now, where at the end, okay, this is the perspective I got about the Joker, is that we know that it's a passing of the torch at the very end, which we need to go in depth and talk about as well, which also kind of frustrated me, is that we want the Joker to be the Joker, right? And the whole premise of them all being in the courtroom is already, we want Joker. We want Joker. And to be honest, I stepped away being pissed that we didn't get the Joker. I feel like Joaquin Phoenix did not get to be the Joker.
Never.
But isn't that kind of like, maybe is that what Todd Phillips is going at? Was like, you guys all want the Joker, but we're not going to give you the Joker because that's the theme of the movie, because you're not going to get the Joker. Even though like Harley at one point walked out whenever she was pissed because Joker didn't admit that he was Arthur Fleck, was like, I'm just Arthur Fleck. I'm just Arthur Fleck. Yep. And like everyone got mad. And is that supposed to be a reflection of us? And maybe I'm being too meta and trying to give them too much credit. But like, is this what they're trying to say? Like, is this the whole point? Are they trying to make it seem like, oh, you guys are all crazy. All you guys want to see is Heath Ledger Joker. But like,
I don't know.
Am I overthinking it? What do you think about that? I pass it to you. What do you think?
I think that 2 movies is too long to not be where your character's supposed to be at.
Thank you. Okay, now I feel less crazy.
If this was called, a different movie, if this was called, Arkham Asylum, stories, or if it was called, Arthur Fleck and some sort of, secondhand reference to the idea of the Joker, then maybe, a killing joke or whatever, like any sort of reference other than just called Joker, it would be okay. But I think the fact that it sells the first movie as the premise of him being the Joker, and then it sells the second movie under the guise that he was supposed to be the Joker, and then by the end of the movie, he was probably the Joker only for what, 30 minutes in the last two movies?
Yeah,
because like 15 minutes on the end of the first one where he's actually the Joker, and then maybe 15 minutes in the courtroom.
Yeah, and that's what I was missing, and that's kind of where I feel like they were trying to be meta, but like I'm not. That's why it's like, are we just not going to get this movie for like another 10 to 15 years because we're so in the mode of wanting the Joker? And like that's the film I wanted. That's why I started by saying the premise of the first film felt like a promise that the second one was going to be something bigger. And the fact that they wrote the other Joker, so this is also spoilers. I mean, we already know, but it's just warning even further, just in case. Because the other person that stabbed Arthur Fleck at that point was pretty much the Joker, and then it was like Heath Ledger's Joker lead up, but then there was no hinting that he was going to be the lead up. They kind of did, kind of in the background, but then they're trying to make like an allegory that we're all kind of crazy, I guess. Like anybody at this point, we all wanted him to be the Joker so bad that we're willing to embody and take on the Joker, which is why Heath Ledger's Joker exists, to connect it. If they're insane enough to even connect all these films, which I wonder if that's their goal, is to make some sort of connection.
They still need a whole nother one in the middle, and that would be what?
Where they're not getting the budget for that. They're not getting the budget for that. Not after this. So there's no way. There's no way. Are you going to connect like the next Batman movie with Robert Pattinson is like the prequel before Batman Begins? Like there's just multiple Batmans. There just always have been. Like
I don't know. The entire second movie ruins the overarching, like, it feels like pacing and story idea from the first movie. I feel like the first movie would have been better off if they just didn't make a second movie.
I agree. I don't see the point of this. Besides, it sounds mean, but like you had said it very more eloquently than I was about to say it. I was going to say it probably in the worst, meanest way possible. But like everything here was like, okay, how can we win awards? Say it the way you did it in such a better way. I'm gonna pass it to you. How'd you word it?
So I was just saying that, like, the movie itself, it seems like every scene and every shot and every part of what it was trying to do was specifically to win awards. Like, you're like, this scene could be like best musical number, and this scene is for best supporting actress, and this scene is for best dramatic breakdown of a character, and this scene is for, best lighting, best visuals, best, and like, but none of the scenes feel like that they like push the story along. It just felt like that they were just trying to like show you that they could do a different thing.
And it did well. In fact, that's what makes me mad about the scripting, because some of the musical numbers were good. Like I loved that Joaquin Phoenix's tap dancing was very invigorating. I thought it was very well done. It was clearly well rehearsed, and he could hit his mark. Like, dude could dance. He's got a history in it, because it makes sense. Lady Gaga can sing. Sometimes they made it seem like these characters couldn't sing, but I could also understand, because I know people make fun of it, where it's like, I got on a string. Like, it almost feels like it was like they're just character driven. So I'm not going to knock it too much, even though it's like some people will say like, God, the singing sucked. I mean, I get it. Drive it character wise, blah, 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 blah. But the script, it just, every time we're about to get to some amazing moments, we went into a song, which is also the point of a musical. Because keep in mind, I have a background in musical theater. I get it. But wow, did it just break the tension really hard, because it's like it's almost like they needed more of like a beat there scripting wise, and then pass it off, and let us like sink into that. It just the writing just felt all misplaced.
Well, the problem I think also with that is the entire second movie doesn't thematically feel the same as the first either. So like the first one wasn't a musical. Like there was, some like slight dance moments where he's like dancing downstairs, but like it wasn't a musical. No one broke into song the entire time. Like, and then you get to the second one and it's like every scene requires him to break into song. And so you don't feel like the first movie and the second movie should have been a connected movie.
Yeah. And I can see, to play devil's advocate, I can see where they were trying to go for the Academy Award, if you will, by saying, look, in this moment, we're going into his mental. He's just insane. That's why we're building on this, because he's lost his way even more. He's even more crazy than the first one. The first one, he broke into song and dance. Now he truly is singing a musical number because he's lost his marbles. But at the same time, that just becomes like I lack for a better word, a circle jerk of like, I'm so good at what I do. You know what I mean? Is that mean to say?
I know, and I feel like that even the entire premise of it was forced. Where you get into, he first enters the the music room, like after he's been cleared to actually go there, and the person says, "Feel free to sing whenever you want to," and it's like that. Oh, this is our line. Like this is our introduction to the we should be singing now, because he wasn't before.
True.
And so it's just like, here you go. Here's your thematic reasoning of why you're now singing.
And like I said, I can't knock the acting because I can't say Joaquin Phoenix because you do this scene better, because I feel like what he had and what it was in front of him, who could do it any better than that? Honestly.
It's just so troublesome because every part of the movie in its own individual section was great. So how do you mess that up?
That's what's impressive. This is 4 times the budget. We go from 50 million to, what was it, 200 million, if I'm not correct?
Yep, 200 million.
That's a massive difference in terms of budgeting. And I wish to maybe give it more time, work on the script, don't rush this piece, really thematically try to put something new and fresh in front of us. That's why like rehashing everything. Like they brought back a lot of characters, which technically have already had their closure. So it's like they kept the sequel going and the camera rolling after an amazing movie, but we're like, we shouldn't have seen that.
No.
What was the point of seeing that? We kind of assumed that he was going to go on trial. We kind of assumed like all this stuff was happening, but we saw it anyways, and it kind of ruins the magic. And because of that, because we never got Joker just truly being Joaquin Phoenix, we put him in the A tier list in terms of Joker before, because he never really gets a chance to truly embody Joker and have a Batman. I still don't think that this sucks. He doesn't get to ever be that.
Yeah, at this point, like if I were to redo the tier list, he would go lower.
Yeah.
Because he spent more time not being Joker than being Joker.
Oh, can we talk about that? The fact that this downplays as Arthur Fleck is not even the real Joker?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, well, we briefly touched on that, but like, yeah, at this point, after the first and second movie, I can confidently say he was never the Joker. He was just Joker. Like he was never the Batman, DC comic, whatever version. He was never a version of the Joker. He just, I guess, is what do you want to call it? An inspiration?
The prequel, the Walmart version. The knockoff brand. Which
He's the guy that you like walk by the costumes in the what is it, Halloween Spirit?
Yeah.
And it's like clown with criminal past. Like
you mean the Joker?
No. Clown with criminal past.
Oh, okay, my bad. This one says the Prince of Crime. Is that the Joker? No, that's the Prince of Crime.
Yeah.
The Clown Prince. Oh man, but then it was so I think that's what's so frustrating, is that there's so many moments where it was like, oh, just let him loose. I remember there was a moment where it was in the trailer where Harley puts the lipstick on the the window frame, and he smiles, and I'm like, oh, there it is. There's the Joker. I feel like I kept saying that throughout the film, like, when he's in the courtroom, fully embodying, dressing as the Joker. I was like, there he is.
You're like, yeah, here we go.
There's the Joker.
We're about to Joker it.
Yeah, I'm like, this is about to happen. You're like, then they just like ripped it up from under you consistently. And maybe that's a choice. That's why I kept trying to say maybe it's meta. Maybe it was because we're still hell bent on seeing the Joker, Todd Phillips. And I also thought, like, is he mad? Is he like just like mad that he had to make a sequel?
Yes.
It's what it felt like. So it's like, I think you said it to me, and then somebody else said, it's like, is he just mad because he said, oh, I'm never making a sequel to this? And then Warner Brothers came to him and said, okay, we're going to give you 4 times the budget. And he said, oh, I'm not doing it. I'll make it into a musical. Watch. And they're like, great idea. And he was like, oh, God. And they're
like the worst pitches ever, and they're every time they're like, "That's a great idea."
I'm gonna get Joaquin Phoenix to sing. Don't worry, he's got a musical theater pass. Well, fine, I'll cast Lady Gaga. Great option. It's just crying.
We've seen A Star Is Born. We know how this goes.
This is great. Wow. Well, Todd Phillips, you're amazing. You've got it. You've got it right there. It's right in front of you. Congratulations. Here's your money. And he's like, oh, Jesus. And Joaquin,
what if we disregard the entire story and make nothing happen? Oh, that sounds like it would be really, really good for the cinematic.
Stop it, please. What if we rehash the first film, but then make it even lighter with musical numbers thrown in? Wow. Good God, Todd Phillips, you're a genius. Like the board. And then he stepped out of the meeting and was like, oh God. And then he went
what have I done?
And then he went even further. He went to Joaquin Phoenix afterwards, and Joaquin was like, I'm never reprising the Joker. I'm done. He's like, what if I give you 4 times the money? I guess I can go again. He starts laughing. He goes like crazy at that point, just laughing like the Joker.
Yeah.
They're all just laughing in the board meeting, just maniacally laughing. The fact like we're gonna put great acting, cinematography, direction, but the script ain't gonna make any sense.
This is gonna win so many awards.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I step away from it just kind of like truly bewildered. Because like if the first one didn't exist, then maybe this one could have hit?
No. Mm-mm.
If the first film didn't exist, do you think this one would have been like not bad?
I feel like
you can't call it the Joker though. You would have to call it something else.
But there was no character development in any part of the entire movie. It all exists only on the premeditated idea that one, you already know who the Joker was and what he did. And then they didn't even develop character for Harley. They literally said, here's Harley. And he's like, I think she's pretty. And then she's like, I'm going to lie to you. And then he's like, did you lie to me? And she's like, everybody lies. And then,
that
was the end of her character development. Like,
before I go to the next point, I'm going to break down. Okay, let's talk about Arthur Fleck and his character arc. Yeah. So in the first film, we know that he went from being bullied to being quiet, being pushed down, to truly embracing the character of I am finally seen, I'm heard from everyone. That's his arc, right? He's finally heard, and he's said that multiple times. And realizing his life is a comedy, essentially. He's embraced his life, as horrible as it is, even though he pushed it down wanting meds. The second one, he is bullied again, so he's reverted back.
Yep.
I mean, I guess you're right. I mean, where did he grow in the movie?
He didn't. He regressed.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's like that's why I said sitcom before. So if he regressed, and where did he? I guess he said the same thing at one point in the film, which is retreading the same history of like, hey guys, at the end I finally was heard, and then kind of like had a moment in court of finally admitting like it was all me all along. There's no Joker. So was that a character arc? Admitting is the theme like he's just admitting that he's crazy?
No, he admitted he wasn't crazy. Because by getting rid of Joker, then that means that he just did it the whole time, just as him being him.
Yeah.
So if anything, he completely ignored the entire like character unfolding of himself of it all.
Yeah, because then at the very end, he just goes right back into the asylum and then gets stabbed. And then we pass the torch, and then allegedly it seems like he dies, and that's it.
Yep.
That's what hurts, man. I'm just kind of like, well, then he never really grew in this point, because then I that's why I wanted him to be insane and be the Joker, so that he could say, hey, they heard my voice. Kind of like Heath Ledger, where he was like, I won in the end. You see, everyone's insane. It's just like Madness. When he converted Harvey, he won, you know?
Yeah.
He won. Like that was his ace in the hole. You know what I mean? And even though he's caught, he'll go do the same thing again, but he proved his point by pushing against Batman, you know?
Yep.
But Arthur never really has any intent. He's just, society pushes against him and he gets mad and he rants. And like you said, Lady Gaga doesn't grow because her character, Harley, is obsessed and just continues to be obsessed, and that's it. And even Harvey Dent that they introduce, he's trying to put him away. Everyone is still just the same person at the very end.
as they were at the very beginning.
And you could say that's an artistic piece by like nature of like, okay, we're all just going to go do the same things, but thematically, it doesn't seem like we have any sense of direction on where these characters are going.
Yeah, without character change, there is no story. Like, that's the premise of storytelling, is the idea of growth of some sort, of some character, usually your main character, and ending it all with, you know, it doesn't even have to be a lesson, but you have to at least understand, you know, motives and why the character started at one place and how they ended up at the end. But if they cut out every musical number and every interaction with every guard, it still ends with him in the same place he was at the very beginning of the story, just not alive.
Yep. And at least with the first film,
nothing changed.
With the first film, at least we can honestly say together, right, is that he went from being bullied, we saw people let him down, that the theme is that society lets us down as people. And it sucks to see Arthur struggle, because all it took in the first movie for one person to extend their hand out, and I think Arthur would have been okay. But his idol lets him down. His mom lets him down. His therapist lets him down. Society lets him down. His friends at work let him down. His boss lets him down. Everyone lets down Arthur Fleck. Every single person. Which is heartbreaking. And all we needed was, even if Murray extended a hand, or those people on the subway, if somebody checked in on him, I don't think he would have become the Joker. Which is why it's so heartbreaking, the first movie, because that's like the theme and story. It's like society has truly let us down, and there's a lot of people that are sick, and it's why his rant on the Murray Show hits so good to home, because he's finally come to terms of what is happening and what is wrong with our world. It's like the saying, we live in a society.
And it triggers the reaction of the entire city with him. Like, there was an actual, like, action, reaction, and just, you know, overarching, like, the city changed with him. Nothing changed this entire movie. Not even the city. They're still just as, you know, driven by him, despite the fact that he literally says, I'm not the Joker anymore. Like, I never was. They're still just absolutely goo goo gaga about him. It's just, there's nothing happened.
Yeah. So if we were to say, if you skip this movie, you don't have anything. I mean, you just have the first film, but like there was nothing to gain from watching this besides like a really good musical number, dancing. You know, those one scene that really hit. I wonder if the film took that style. You remember after the courthouse was blown up, they found him. It almost felt like, not really found footage, but the footage was like so realistic when he was in that car, and we got to see the world outside finally. I wanted to see more of the world of like what was going on. They kind of show it, but we're so confined inwards to the Arkham Asylum, which is okay because that could also be a theme going on.
Yep.
But there's, I mean, for $200 million, I think there was a lot more that could have been put on the table, and a lot more fun that Joaquin Phoenix could have had, or any one of the actors and actresses in this movie.
Yeah, the most excitement for the entire thing was from when the bomb hit to when he was finally caught.
Yeah.
And that's like, what, 6 minutes?
And it was an hour and 40 into the movie, maybe?
Probably longer than that.
Yeah, it was a long movie. So that's why the retreading also just feels frustrating. And there is some comedy there, like whenever they were talking with Puddles, like that, because that's the Joker finally came out. And like there's some themes there that are interesting. But it really, the court case, the like, it could have dove more into it, gone a little more crazy, you know, maybe had a little bit more talk about our society. Anything. Just thematically, the movie was just missing themes. And I guess if you were to say, like, if I were to force a theme into it, we could argue a theme of like insanity, because it doesn't matter what else is going around the world. Arthur Fleck just lives in his own head.
Yeah, but then he even argues against that, saying that he's not insane.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Harvey Dent's trying to prove the whole time, by the way. It's like, Joker isn't crazy.
Yeah.
Which is true. You know, I want to say in the comics, I know I came over to you and I said this, technically Joker isn't crazy. He's been proven by many psychiatrists that he actually is aware of what he's doing, that he's not insane.
Right.
So that is technically lore accurate. He's not crazy. He's just bewildered by the world around us, essentially. You know, it's like, hey, you guys are all got issues. I don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But man, that's why this. I know I came home and I was just sitting here. I wanted this to pretty much be a long breakdown, and maybe I know it's also ranting, but I mean, we gave it praise where it deserved praise. You know?
Yeah. 100%.
I don't even know what to give this. If you were to say on a scale of 1 to 10, what I would even give this.
I think if you don't care about the story, like if you specifically went into this without a care in the world of how it starts or how it ends, I think you could truly enjoy this movie just for the spectacle of what it is.
Yeah.
Unfortunately enough, movies are story vessels. So this is a $1 billion boat with a gigantic hole in it. It's basically the Titanic. But that was a better movie.
True. We had a story arc. You had characters that grew, that changed.
Yep. And even though it rehashed an entire situation, it still told it better. So weird.
Yeah. That's where this whole, and also this story, and Joker has history. It's hard to just create your own piece. I mean, they still could have. They could have made thematically like Arthur embraces, or even if I'm gonna be honest, even if Arthur, the whole story was him pushing away from Joker, that still thematically would have been really interesting to see than what we got. Yeah.
Or at least leaned heavier into what seems to be the passing of the torch, so that character felt like it actually mattered more.
Yeah, because the ending, whenever that happened, was a little silly. Because then I was like, because it almost seems like it's going to lead up to a third film, but there's no way. There is absolutely no way that this movie is getting a trilogy. They're not making a third film. There's no way it's happening.
Well, I mean, I guess if they spend the first hour and a half rehashing the first and second film, they could probably squeeze in 30 minutes of something else afterwards, and it'd be okay, I guess.
Yeah, they'll sprinkle in where this other Joker was the whole time and what he was doing.
Yeah, that's what it'll be. It'll be a retelling of that guy's story through the first and second Joker.
And then Lady Gaga like setting it up, or I keep saying Lady Gaga, Harley Quinn setting it up on the side to create the real Joker that she desires and wants. That everyone is just using Arthur Fleck, and then the whole premise is that society truly is evil because Arthur Fleck was, no matter which crowd he went to, was bullied, even whenever he was martyred, essentially.
Yep. And by the way, if you are listening to this, we need Ron Howard to direct it.
There you go.
But
you know who we need? We need who directed The Last Jedi?
Oh, I don't know.
The second one from the, you know what I'm talking about, the one that made everyone mad because it was subverting. No, I mean she makes people mad too. It was because it subverted expectations. The second
Ryan
one,
Johnson?
Yeah, Ryan Johnson. Listen, he makes some good movies. Like I did like Looper, and I liked the other one, the Knives Out. I think was pretty good. Yeah. But like how you try to, maybe the third film of this will just subvert expectations again. He's never been the Joker from the start. In fact, it was Lady Gaga, and we were in Harley Quinn in her mind. I keep looking at the image of Lady Gaga. Okay, so like if she's not,
it's fine. It's fine. I understand.
But I mean, I don't have any more thoughts. That's my biggest rant. I feel bad being so harsh on the movie. I know, obviously, my wife Abby, she went and she said it wasn't bad. Like she thought it was okay. I mean, she loved the musical aspect because we grew up in musical theater, so she appreciated the fact that it was well acted. I just, I really, I mean, if you go for a good time, you're gonna like this movie. Like just without no story and turn off your brain heavily, and just enjoy what's on screen. That's it.
If you're going for a spectacle, it's gonna be great. If you're going for actual character development, it's gonna disappoint you to no end.
Yeah. Which, like you said, thematically, all of us watching those type of movies and like, what is this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I hope. I'm really curious. You guys all have to comment down below if you got to this point, please, if you have, and let us know genuinely how you feel. I know that if it's kind of, we're not like we're rushing it, but I just wanted the goal was to get such a raw, authentic impression as soon as we got out of the theater and approach this movie review just a little different, which is why it feels like a podcast. So that was kind of our goal. And I think hopefully we hit it. And if you guys enjoyed, then I mean, this is your place to sit here and rant and talk about the movie. Comment down below how you felt. Are we wrong? Are we insane?
Please tell me how I'm wrong. I need to know. Someone please convince me that this movie was good.
Yeah, honestly, I am so okay with it because maybe I just didn't get the point. Maybe I'm too stupid to understand the script or plot, you know?
Yeah, I'm old and dumb and my hair's falling out. So
maybe I'm so bad. I want the Joker on screen, and so I'm the villain. We're villains for wanting the Joker, you know?
Yeah. And then if you want to show that you're a real OG, write Puddles down below.
Oh my god. Puddles? Really? Really? That's your real name? Oh man. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to comment. Seriously, we really want to know. Hopefully we saved you some money. I go rent it. Enjoy the rent, you know, and whenever it comes out. I don't think this is going to last very long in theaters. I think it'll plummet by week 2. That's just my own theory. I think this will confuse the living heck out of anybody who's seen the first movie.
Yep.
Oh, before I go, there was one guy who was sitting next to us. Did you hear him? He said, "What was that?"
Yeah.
Did you hear that guy?
Yeah.
He was truly confused about what he watched. That was good. I feel like everyone in the theater, like everyone kept saying that. They're just like, "What?"
That was the resounding response at the end of the movie.
What?
Was just a silent moment, and then what?
And that's what we're ending this video.
Yep.
What?